Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk, and this time I'm at the West Grinstead ploughing match, which is more than just a ploughing match, I can tell you, and I'm joined by the very lovely Richard Verrall. Hello, Richard.
Thank you, very good, thank you.
It's lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
The West Grinstead ploughing match, let's take a little stroll over here, because we've started really at the beginning of mechanical ploughing. Prior to this, it's horse and plough for centuries and centuries, but behind us, if I just sweep the camera around here, you'll see a traction engine. Richard, what are they up to?
Well, this is what they call steam ploughing. You've got two steam engines, and because they're so heavy and don't pull very well, they've got one end of the field and one the other, and between them there's a cable winch underneath, and they winch this plough, which we can see, from one end of the field to the other, and then they balance it so that the furrows are reversed and it ploughs it back the other way. The fellow steam engine winches it back again, and you've got furrows all turning the same way, but it does lead quite a lot of men, as we've just seen.
Yeah, behind us is the plough. It's that blue thing with the red wheels, and actually if I just turn the camera this way, you can't, on this camera you won't see it, but right in the distance
It is.
It's a colossal field. How big is this field? A furlong? Well, 2 furlongs?
I'm trying to estimate. It's at least 600 yards.
Yeah.
At least from here. It's not a very big field because it's not so wide, but there's probably 12 acres here or more.
Yes.
But
it's
you
amazing.
can hardly see the steam engine from here.
No, that's right. And they have to signal by blasting their horn to tell each other to start winching, is that right?
You'll probably hear this one blow his whistle in a minute when he's ready for the other one up the east end to start winching the plough along.
Shall we just have a quick look at the plough?
Indeed.
Just grab a bit closer here. So it's got 6, now I don't know all the technical words, but 6 blades by the looks of things at the bottom. What are they?
Well, you call them turn furrows or lands.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, they're designed, if you see they've got a twist on them, they're designed to lift the soil and invert it.
Hold it.
Here he goes. Oh, blimey.
It's quite exciting. Yes, you've got the and you've got a coulter comes down to cut the furrow on this side. See those blade things?
Yes.
That's the idea, is to cut it so you get individual furrows, not just a great big lump of soil inverted.
Oh, right.
And you'll see the 6 furrows on this one. So it's quite a big plough. It should cover well over 6 feet. I don't know how wide they've ploughed, but at least 6 feet, probably more. But it's quite an involved job. Can you imagine the length of wire rope on that drum?
But this was the alternative to horses back in the day.
Well,
when it first came out,
I should imagine it's quite a change. But of course, there's not many people could afford something like this.
No,
most people afforded a horse, but not something like this.
And also extra bods, as you say,
well,
to get on with it.
Need a lot of men to heave the plough about. No hydraulics, you see.
You've got the coal and water for the traction engine.
You've got to have everything to back it up. Yes, it's not as light an undertaking like marriage to be undertaken lightly and without due forethought.
Yes.
No, mate, I imagine these must have cost thousands of pounds when they were new.
Yeah.
Quite extraordinary things.
And actually, I'm just going to go up and have a look at the winch, because you can see all the cable there.
Yes.
You've got that steel cable on that huge drum.
Yeah. How many metres of cable you got? Do you know? How many metres
of cable?
It's about 500 yards.
500 yards?
Yeah.
How far away is the other traction engine?
Did you get close?
Like to guess.
It's what?
Probably about 200, 300 yards.
200, 300 yards, wow. Wow.
Well,
That's all right. Oh, you all right?
yeah, I'll talk to you.
Whoa!
But now we'll see the winch unwinding.
Oh, here he goes, look.
The winch is unwinding this end and it's winding him up that end. It's quite...
So they're off.
And he's going to move back here for the next bite when he comes back.
Oh, I see. So there's the winch going. Wow, look at that.
That's unwinding, that one. But it's so much power and it's so silent.
Isn't it?
That's the beauty of steam. It's so quiet.
And then There he
The
goes.
speed he's going up there is quite phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. So when they get that going, I mean, far faster and a lot more
Oh yes.
efficient than the old horse and plough.
Oh well, obviously.
back in the day.
Well, you take one man a day to plough an acre with a horse, 2 horses. But something like this, you wouldn't worry about whether it's heavy land or light land. It would just press on regardless.
yes.
Oh
it
yes,
is.
you do a lot of ground in a day when you've got teams set up.
Yeah. Well, that's stunning.
Mm.
So they're also doing some threshing and they're doing some binding. Did you
That's
say?
it. We've got a bit of corn cut with a binder, but unfortunately, well, by the way, there's the little one, the service engine with the water top. We've got to run after that with the water to keep the engines topped up. It's nice to see a steam engine. It's Charles Burrow and Sons.
Oh yeah, there we are.
That doesn't give you a date, but the number would tell you when it was made.
Yeah,
It's got its own name, Lion. Rather splendid, isn't it?
it's a very lovely machine.
Yeah.
And he's just trundling up and down, making sure each of the traction engines
Well, yeah, I
topped
guess-
up with water.
That's right. Most important to keep the engine full of water,
Yeah.
even though it's not actually doing much at this time.
And I guess in the day, back in the days of old, you would need to have a river or a stream or a water source nearby.
You've got to have water from somewhere.
Yeah.
Which they've got special pumps on them, vacuum-operated pumps, which
Boil
they
it
used,
up
they used to
from-
drop the suction hose into the nearest stream, and the filter on the end, obviously,
Yeah.
to keep the various
Keep the
little
fish
animals.
and
Yes,
whatever.
yes, it's very important that you stopped in time and topped your water up.
Yeah. So they've stopped their binding, which is over in front of us here.
That's right. It's ideally this wants to be a standing crop, quite about 4 foot tall.
Yes.
For the binder to work efficiently, this flat stuff on the ground, it's not made to cut that. It doesn't do a good job at all. But you get the idea.
Yes.
Perhaps.
And this is the beauty of these sort of shows, isn't it?
That's
that they're giving you a glimpse into the past
That's right.
and what it's about. And then that machine up ahead of us, I'm guessing that's the thresher.
That's the thrashing machine. That looks to me like an American. It's not a British-made one. It's quite small for a thrashing machine, but it's obviously a fairly modern one, I suppose. But it looks like IHC, which looks like International Harvester Corporation on the back.
Oh, okay.
I think, which means it is definitely American.
And these machines, when they came in again, great labour-saving
Oh
machines.
gosh, that's good. Well, you imagine people would be beating out the corn with the flails.
Right. Hard work.
All the old barns, some of the houses had corn-proof floors, which were the thrashing floor, and you spread your corn out on the floor, and then you beat the living daylights out of it with a flail. That's a two-handed. You've got a handle and then a leather pivot, and you thrash the lower part of the flail onto the corn to beat the corn out of it.
Gosh.
And that must have been pretty hard work.
And that would have gone on for what, weeks?
Well, yes. Well,
Depending on how much corn
depends
you've
how
got.
much you've got, how many people you've got to find work for.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not not like a combine that does 10 tons in an hour or
Yes.
180 tons in an hour these
Yeah.
days or something.
Oh, absolutely.
No, it was a lot of work.
But I guess when these machines came in, of course, there was all of the riots, wasn't there? Because it was putting people out of work.
Oh yes, that was the Luddites and the riots down in Devon when they were transported for
Yeah.
vandalising farm machinery.
And they were just really trying to protect their jobs and their livelihoods.
Well, of course, that's what always happens, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But it actually made life a lot better for them because he did away with a lot of the hard graft. But
Yes.
obviously, don't need so many men.
No, that is the way of the world. Well,
So-
it's a canny beast, isn't it? With all the belts and the
Oh yes.
various bits and pieces.
Yeah, you put your sheaves. That's what the binder attempts to make. I don't know whether this is supposed to be a sheaf, but
Oh,
it's
down
not,
here?
it's not much of a thing. No, I don't think there's any corn in it actually. But if you get a field, you put 2 of those together and build a little stoop, and they stood out in the fields for, as I said, 3 church bells, 3 weeks.
3 church bells.
And then when it's judged dry, you carried it. You might have thrashed it then, or you might not put it in a rick, thrash it in the winter. But that's a poor example of a
Yeah.
sheaf. But never mind. The best they could do.
It is standing up on its own now. At least it
Obviously there's no corn in the head because
No.
there's no weight. You
Ah.
wouldn't do that with a sheaf of corn. Those are sheaves on there. They're
On
different
there.
things altogether.
So this is terrific. This is really showing, and it's great because it shows a lot of people, particularly children, you know, the roots of modern farming. And then the rest of the show, we've got the ploughing matches with the very, very precise, clever and particular skills going on, getting those furrows straight.
Absolutely. Well, we should have a look at those.
We'll have a look at those, yeah.
But another thing we will look at is the difference between that and then there's a combine harvester over there, the modern one.
Oh yes.
And that does the whole job all in one go. But that could probably cost £250,000 or more.
Yes. That's a lot of money to do one job, even though it saves a lot of time and labour.
That's right. It's an awful lot of capital tied up.
So you've got to have a lot of money these days to be a farmer, haven't you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, nobody wants to pay you for the food.
No one wants. That's
Not
right.
really.
No,
Not really.
and they waste so much when they do.
That is the
That's
tragedy.
the appalling other side of
That
it.
is the tragedy.
Well, I think that's all for this video, but we'll be making some more. So for the moment, Richard, thank you very much for that. But we're going to go and have a look at some other elements of farming. In the meantime, I'm just going to give you a long shot to finish with of that traction engine in the field just beyond us.